we coming from the Truspace. We ain't entertaining neighbors, I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie planet, seeds and birds, fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the Truspace. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the Truspace. Welcome to the Truspace. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the Truspace. What's good, everybody? My name is Open Book. This is my partner.
Hey guys, this is Harith. Welcome back to Truspace.
Yup, and this is your weekly horoscope from August 15th to the 21st. So let's get into the energy. On Monday, on August 15th, the moon is going to be in Aries, making a conjunction with Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. How do you think this energy?
So this is beautiful. This is coming from where the moon was in Pisces, where we were really putting energy into dreaming, putting faith in certain dreams and illusions, and maybe learning how not to be certain delusional about certain things that we've been building and working on through this entire Leo season. Since this Leo season was very noticeable in terms of results, because we had the new moon in Leo, and right after that we had the moon goes into Virgo, and this allowed us to see what type of harvest that our personality or sense of courage could really create and things of that nature. Then we took that, expressed it through the social sign Libra, and then through Scorpio, and then Sagittarius ascendant, and then we went through the God realm. We took everything that we built it with our individuality, a sense of courage to express our expression, how we see the world under the govern of Saturn being Aquarius retrograde, not knowing whether this is gonna work out or not. We took all this energy in the social signs into the generational realm. We took action. We started building a business structure, Capricorn. Then we started to associate. That's when we start to experience the full moon in Aquarius, and learn how to really put this light in form of categorization. Learn to associate it, and learn how to be so delusional and lost in our own light. Then the moon went to Pisces, allowing us really to take all our association, our friends, our groups, and really go to the dream world with them and connect and learn how to maybe relax a little bit. And then right now we're in the moon in Aries, where we're gonna add a new spark and add a sense of passion and aggression to continue taking the sun through through the rest of the Leo's degree right now, because the sun right now is around 28-27 degrees right now. So the moon in Aries right now is going to provide us that extra energy to really ride through it and get into the Virgo season.
For sure. Especially transiting, just like what you're talking about, from Pisces. Pisces what have made us. I can see, after the full moon, you're being hit with people's emotions and how people feel about the light that you had gave out. And if you weren't, true to yourself, and when you start going out with these things, you may have certain illusions surrounding around how people feel about it. Maybe they go over exaggerated on the light that, and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so that can put this cloud over this individual expression. You think it's bad to express yourself in this way, or you think it's overly good based off of what a person thinks, when there's refinement to the light that you could have shone out. But through all of those influences, but through that experience with the moon in Aries, it's gonna, you're right, that spark to create something new. It's like, okay, I was dealing with all that collective energy. Okay, I know now, even though it's a lot, I know now that this is what I need to start. And you really need to follow that desire, what it is that you need to start now in order to better assist your creative expression. And Jupiter and Chiron is there to help give that lesson, to help make you obtain that wisdom and knowledge of individuality, and show you how to put it into how you creatively express yourself.
Exactly. And like, if you guys remember, we had the sun at the early degrees of Leo making those trines with the Chiron and then Jupiter. So right now this moon in Aries is almost like you going over the mistakes again, because Chiron deal with you making mistakes, but for you to learn how to be on the stage, which is Leo season.
Exactly. And then the moon in Aries is making a trine to Venus and the sun in Leo. How do you think that's gonna hit?
So that's the same of the more thing. This is adding more passion, desires into what you truly love, what you want to express in the public, and how you want to be seen by the world. This is helping you, helping Venus, your true love matter, to feel motivated to go up there, and then the Sun to finish those latest degrees and go prepare for Virgo season. So that's like the extra inspiration.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really wanting to be seen, and then the moon is in Aries is really gonna give you the courage to put yourself out there, to be seen, to see what you can manifest.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun is opposing Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think that energy is going to hit? That's probably what that push is
Mm-hmm.
for, to give us the boost to deal with
Yeah.
that opposition.
And like just essentially to learn how to restrict and control our light among our association, because we're not the only person who want to express how we feel, and we're not the only person who have our own form of creativity and things of that nature. Like association is a big lesson, and a big lesson for the world to move around, essentially, especially with Pluto going into Aquarius. It's going to be one of the biggest themes ever. Groups, associations, the people you've been known since the beginning of your life, and how they got you so far, and things of that nature.
It's probably gonna be information too, like that's probably when we're gonna start seeing niggas with chips in their brains and shit like that, and it's because of the associations and groups what they coagulated based on the collective mindsets, and we're out here being flunked out, getting into the rebellious energy and joining institution and groups that don't include the individual, and their institution and groups the individual is recognized, everybody's a strong link, everybody's on the same page, and they be manifesting some brain chip type shit, some body type augmentation, some futuristic forward thinking type thing, some shit that nobody's really seen before, some sci-fi type shit, and make this their power, make this how they go and take control, because they entered this territory a little bit first. So this is why niggas is clicking up in institutions like this. It's crazy how, look how broke niggas fight for crumbs, while the richest people, the people who run everything, the big companies that actually run everything. Coca-Cola is backed by investors that is majority owned by investors that own Pepsi, that own every other fucking name brand you can fucking think of, and it's multiple investment groups that own these things, and they all support each other. It's like there's Vanguard Group, there's BlackRock, but BlackRock is going to be the funder and supporter of Vanguard, and Vanguard is going to be the support. Like, they all own each other to create this integral loop, while you're out here trying to rebel against certain ideas and stuff like that. I'm getting lost into the rebellious, oh, this is more logical type thing. They're actually getting on the same page. I feel like what this opposition can really shed light into. I bet you'll feel that realization of, as you're trying to express the individual. Saturn's like, it's like, bruh, it's like, come on, you need a little bit more. And you're like, wow, I didn't take those responsibilities serious of what it would take to associate on that level. Maybe I was too stuck on seeing things a specific way, without understanding teamwork is the dream work. This would be a wake up. Obviously, you need to still incorporate the individual, or you will feel less than within that association. But don't get lost that you think that you can do it by yourself. You will build some shit. No, the pyramids weren't built by one nigga, you know what I mean? It was a collection of niggas that came together to do it. Whatever building that's with all type of designs and stuff like that. Like your dreams magnify what you can build magnified when you guys come together at a team. So I feel like that opposition is really going to bring light to that, and maybe show you even what you need to do to be able to have people to gather and associate with people along collective mentalities so that you can actually build, showing you the potential of, if you were to, let go of controlling of how you see things and be more, you know, um, secure with how and balanced, and Venus is helping out with that, with how you see yourself, so you don't need to prove no self approval, no control, like you understand that you control how you see yourself, then you'll be fine going into a group, and taking on different roles and doing all that different stuff, because you ensure within yourself that the individual is always going to be recognized. So it's like it's kind of a play with that, showing you the potential of what that could be or what you're up against. What people, a collection of people going against you, what that can do. And you're thinking, no, I can do everything by myself, which you can do a lot by yourself, but teamwork needs to be that alignment. And then Mercury in Virgo is making a sextile to the node in Scorpio, and it's trining the North Node, and Uranus in Taurus. How do you think that relationship's working out?
So Mercury deal with the way we think, our mind, logic, our thoughts and things of that idea. Right now, Mercury is focused on being flexible, adaptable, even indecisive when it comes to practicality, structures, routine, even health and matter. This is where our mind is. Mercury in Virgo, and it's exalted here. So we're overworking the faculty of our mind, thinking about what makes sense and practicality in a very broad sense. And that sextile with the South Node Scorpio is going to allow you the ability to digest your vulnerabilities and all the things that you keep behind the scene, as we were experiencing this Leo season, allowing you to put all these things up front and actually make you realize, and through plus the South Node squaring the Sun, Leo, and everything going through Leo season. So Mercury right now is allowing you to digest these things behind the scene right now and break them down and deal with them from a completely logical, broad point of view. And then the trine with the Uranus and the North Node is allowing you to accumulate all this energy of originality, because Uranus was here for a while, allowing you to really go hard and learn how to separate your own self from that was traditional and figure out how to rebel. And basically Mercury is giving you this energy and learn how to think about it, learn to give it a shape or form, or like condense it, if you will. A lot of people like to describe Uranus as like Mercury but like a higher octave of it. So you could think of Mercury as me right now being capable of breaking these larger voltage electrifying the things that Uranus is bringing. So like that's what Mercury is going to provide you as you're learning how to detoxify from these things dealing with the South Node and Scorpio, as we're presenting all these things in Leo season.
And that's funny, in tarot, the Fool represents Uranus, and right after the Fool comes the Magician, Mercury and Gemini. It's funny how they start, where the Fool seems foolish, but he's probably the biggest trickster that there is. And it's his journey, or the first journey is him becoming the trickster. It's interesting. And then Uranus, people try and say that Uranus rules humanity, or talks about humans, in the movement of humanity in general too. So it's funny that you're saying a higher level of Mercury, and we're such a cerebral race, and or people, which is very interesting. And yeah, you're right about that square. The square with the Sun and Leo is helping shine those light on those vulnerable parts, which never would have got seen. Scorpio, that's why the theme is transformation, because a lot of those energies is packed up, suppressed, or compressed. It's very intense. It's a deep thing. So sometimes it really takes a forceful situation, a Pluto type situation, where it's like, no, you can't hold this back anymore. I'm forcing you to go and deal with this. I'm forcing you to have to transform. Whether it's going to be death, whether it's a situation or things going to be taken away, experiencing some type of loss, or it may even manifest to be your life if it's that suppressed. That's just how cancers develop and all of that type of shit. But Mercury in Virgo is really helping us make sense out of that. So if you are feeling like you're being exposed, or a vulnerable part is being out, if you try and express yourself, that you're risking showing a lot of vulnerability, please don't run away from expressing yourself because of that. Express yourself anyway. Because Mercury's in Virgo. It's gonna help you make sense out of all of that. Go through that situation. Feel the vulnerability. Feel the fear. Sit with that, because you know you'll be able to collect the receipts, and Mercury's going to, and Virgo is going to help you do that. And you'll be able to come to and make sense out of that experience, out of your past energies that is coming out into the surface now. And you'll feel lighter. You'll feel better able to deal with Uranus and the North Node and Taurus to handle the instability and change that's going on. But yeah, Mercury and Virgo being opposite, Juno and Neptune and Pisces. How do you think that's
Mhm.
fitting?
So like obviously as Virgos, Mercury and Virgos allowing us to pick up on all those details and sense of practicality and learn how to improve our life. It's almost like having, it's almost like hiring a cleaner or a manager. That's like Mercury and Virgo. But as it opposed Juno and Neptune and Pisces, that's almost like the cleaner or the accountant criticizing the CEO, the manager, the person who brought the vision or the dream or illusion, the person who have all this faith on what invited or what gave this Virgo the ability to criticize whatever. So this is what Neptune and Juno allowing us to do right now: build on our dreams, illusions, faith. And Juno is like, Juno was Zeus' wife, and Juno represents marriage and the ability to connect something so deeply that you don't want to break away from it. If you look at the mythology, what happened when Zeus cheated from Juno? Everything, the entire mountain Olympus went into hell. Juno used all his children against him. So you could see how that plays out inside people as you having this goal and then you betraying this original feeling that you connected to for some another feeling, and then all your children are gonna attack you. So like this is what's happening right now. You don't want to be so critical and analytic and judgmental with Mercury and Virgo that you're gonna kill everything you've been building in Neptune and Pisces and Juno. There is make you add that sense of conviction to these dreams and illusion. Like stick to them. So like learn how to analyze it in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm. You really ground these things, show you where you're lacking in each spot. If you're falling to more of the creating the illusion side and the belief side, Mercury and Virgo is going to pull you into the ground to make you try and explain that, put words to it, all of that. And if you're too far on the Mercury, and Virgo side in terms of being dry and impractical, it's going to urge you. It's going to show you things that don't make sense. It's going to show you things that you can't bring words to just to let you know that there's a little bit more to experience, or that you have to be a little bit more open and just sit within the energy. So for sure see what you're saying. And then Mars and Taurus squaring the moon, the Sun and Leo.
So this is just you hardly taking your time to grind through to build you this tradition, this value that you want. And then the Sun in Leo, this is show time, and you're getting criticized by everybody. But like the square is giving you this tension. This is like you showing off as you're working. So like it's not, you don't have the complete image yet, or it's hard for you to put these two things together.
Mm-hmm. And even though right now, I bet there's a lot of energy where people are trying to, we see the instability of everything that is going on. So a lot of people are passionate about gaining stability, gaining value in some type of way. But is that getting in the way of you expressing yourself freely? If you getting into that childlike nature because you're so passionate about security, maybe because you're moving slow with how you're exerting your energy, or what's motivating you is something that is real and tangible, that you're not allowing yourself to step into the realm of creating something new. When you're trying to focus on an image and how you see and want to feel on yourself, you may feel like you're wasting time taking care of yourself, being an individual, expressing yourself, having fun, enjoying and entertaining things. Like it's taken away from your passions and of creating stability. But you have to realize the best way to create stability is learning how to incorporate entertainment, fun, and your attention. This is what's going to give you the ultimate power to really bring these things that you want into physical reality. If you're having fun when you're doing it, then it will manifest hands down. If you enjoy it, you'll go back to it. So it's creating that challenge with Mars and Taurus, where if you can't bring fun into the situation, if you can try and bring a more lighthearted, childlike situation to trying to obtain stability, to your passion for something that is real, you're gonna find more frustration. Your assets, try, you're gonna it's gonna be frustrating on attaining stability now, and you're gonna feel like it's a battle between individual expression and obtaining stability. Like you're gonna have to suppress yourself in order to obtain something that is real. You don't want to be in that space at all. At all. That's why you have to learn how to incorporate fun and joy into work, into the hard times. So you can have so you can actually go through those things without crumbling. So that don't get fixated on either things. Now, uh, when you do manifest that real physical thing, and you won't look at it as a burden, as a responsibility, something that's holding you back, something that you can truly enjoy, or you'll last the journey, even if it's making you slow, even if it's taking so long. If you learn how to enjoy the ride, or how to include fun into things. But yeah, that's Monday, the 15th. Looking at Tuesday, the 16th. The moon is in the late degrees of Aries, making a sextile to Saturn and Aquarius. How do you think this one
Man,
is?
so all those energies that we've been accumulating so far, they're in Leo season, and then right now they are being reignited by the moon being in Aries, allowing us to be more passive and aggressive, and initiate this new vision and imagination, and go forward. That will allow us to see opportunity with what restrictions, control that we need to take. Control with when it comes to our association, these new ideas that we want to innovate with, build with, but it needs the individual Aries to charge these things up. It's almost like with the moon in Aries, we will have that motivation to change the multiple groups, or the groups that have multiple individuals within them that Saturn is controlling. So the moon in Aries is the moon is falling in Aries, so it's putting the sense of self back in, to allowing us to see the opportunity of how can we take over Saturn, the restriction and control, since right now it's being retrograde, and since right now we went through Leo season.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Aquarius and Leo can both be some heavy instigators, and but they go about it different ways. Aquarius is going to instigate so that it can learn or obtain some knowledge. Leo's going to instigate just to get some drama, just to be entertained. And I feel like Aries will be is the perfect victim. Aquarius would be like, "Hey, yo, Aries, you're not gonna jump off that cliff. You're scared to jump off that cliff," because they just want to know how deep the cliff is. If Aries will survive. They want to collect information. They wanna know. And Aries wanting to go and start things. Being that you call it a bitch. Being that, are you scared or something? Aries is gonna jump off the cliff. You know what I mean? And then Leo will do the same thing. In terms of, you're gonna let him say that, or try and instigate it just to see drama, just to see or to be entertained within a certain way. So it's interesting seeing how that plays out. So things can go really far, or it can be really egged on, because with Aries, it's wants something new, something never seen before. That's what Aquarius wants to move forward. Aquarius wants what's new too. So it kind of fucks with Aries. But it lets Aries run off and do all of its ridiculous things while while it collects information. And then Aries is brave. It jumps out onto the scene, um, and just expresses itself. Leo fucks with that. It's like, damn, I had to have the whole stage. People had to be. I needed the audience. People had to be look. You even need an audience. And so it's looking at Aries like, oh shit, you just did that shit. So the moon in Aries can definitely help both areas of our life in terms of attaining more discipline in Aquarius, making us comfortable with forward moving type stuff with the new things because we're within that perspective. Aries will give us the desire, be like, okay, if this is where we're moving, this is where we're progressing, I want this out of it. It's helping you have a fresher perspective of Saturn and Aquarius and showing you what you want out of it, how you can join associations or be more practical by being logical, and showing you the desires that you can benefit from this if you were to give more emotion to that. Same thing with the Tron with the Sun. You'll be able to entertain more, express yourself more if you were to give more emotions to the desires that the Moon is trying to show you. So it's helping. It's like a bridge helping cause that energy. Bridge both that Aquarius and Leo energy because they both will learn and fuck with that with Aries. What about the Sun in Leo in conjunct Pluto in Capricorn and in conjunct Neptune in Pisces?
Oh, that's basically right now we're experiencing.
So it's making a
Yeah,
yard.
yeah, essentially with Pluto in Capricorn right now is making you take integrity and power control on what type of business structure that you want to take part in as the entire old world is getting destroyed. That allowing you to see opportunity with Neptune and Pisces to see what dreams and illusion that you should stick with that could help you to build this new world that you want to build in. But you're kind of indecisive since Neptune is in Pisces, it's a mutable sign. So you get your choice. You get the possibility to escape to a delusion or escape to something that you could build on, which is Capricorn. And Capricorn want to take action on something. So you get to choose. Right now we're experiencing that in conjunction with the Sun and Leo. So that's the blind spot. Pluto and Capricorn is sextiling Neptune and Pisces, but both these generational planets are in conjunction the Sun in Leo, and this entire season was about the individual expressing his inner light, his creativity, his how he could have fun and entertain himself. But this year is really making you pay attention to who you are, like what you're saying, as you're realizing, like, oh, maybe I'm not really interested in my dreams and illusions to the best capacity, and I'm seeing this things happening with the entire world getting destroyed. We're losing money and things of that nature. So it's really making you pay attention to yourself. Like what you're expressing really is really making you pay attention to yourself. So you don't do the wrong things that weak Pluto and Capricorn wrongly and Neptune and Pisces wrongly too.
Hands down. That alignment is also called the finger of God, where it's showing you where heavy emphasis is being pointed to. And you're so right, because look at Pluto in Capricorn and Neptune in Pisces. With the generational energies, a lot of this comes from the Sun. How you see yourself. Your generational and your energies with the collective stems from how you see yourself. So I feel like that's what this alignment's really going to show. Just like what you were saying, it's going to show that how the changes in that's going on with your position in society, that all started or cascaded or more awareness being put on, and how you seen yourself. And it's putting you in a new space to see yourself differently. Same thing with Neptune and Pisces. The beliefs and connections that you have with everybody's feelings and emotions is showing you how you see yourself, and your creations had led to the current state of that in your life, and how you can add more creativity to that, to how you see and view yourself. So it's like generationally, or a lot of our collective energies is really pointing towards how you see yourself and what you create and where your attention's going. So it's like everything going on in the world right now, the world demanding your emotions, the world transforming on its structure and stuff like that. It's all serving to put you into a new space for you to understand who you are, for you to see what you really are in your true light. That's what all of this, or what you can use and serve all of this to do, especially on Tuesday with that energy going on. Seeing this collective energy and be like, okay, how do I see myself within all of this?
And I feel like this yod is preparing you for the when the sun goes into Virgo, because yod deals with like the letter yod, and in Arabic we call it yod, but it also means like your hand, which deal with like how to help. This is why people, when they describe the yod, they talk about like God helping you, like pointing you somewhere and things of that nature. But it's also ruled by, I think, number six, and that deals with the Hermit card, which deal. And what's a Hermit ruled by? Virgo, and then where's the sun gonna go after? Virgo. So that's really teaching you
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, based upon what you expressed later on in Virgo season. You might have to do really go through your hermit mode, aka separate, and then like figure out like or I like to collect the receipts essentially.
It's facts. And like it may be hard to, because after you express yourself, that's why what falls in Leo, Saturn
Mm-hmm.
would fall in Leo, because after all the expression, all the creations, it's gonna be like, oh, what, you're not gonna be held responsible for all of this shit that you done said and expressed and all of that stuff, but you have to allow yourself to go into the hermit mode, to disattach a little bit, to so that you can properly analyze. It's okay if you don't go and express yourself like how you was expressing yourself before. If you're trying to make sense out of it, it's okay to dull back the tone, even though you came in hot. You came in hot, and heavy. But for Virgo season, it's really going to help you refine that. So it's not about coming in, maintaining the heat that you came in with. It's refining your heat so that there's minimal waste, and you can sustain that fire for a longer period of time. So yeah, that's Tuesday, the 16th. Looking at Wednesday, the 17th, the moon is moving into Taurus now, making a conjunction with the North Node and Uranus in Taurus, while opposing the South Node. How do you think this plays out?
So the moon is moving from its fall into its exaltation, dealing with attaching itself emotionally into uh, being determined, rooted, even stubborn about about physical things. Things deal with our senses, and this is gonna be like a experiences to our body, and the conjunction with the North Node and Uranus, and those gonna remind you of the lack of stability that we have the world, and how the world is shaky, and depending upon what you initiated with while the moon was in Aries, and what you've been planning the entire Leo season is gonna be what you emotionally react to stabilize during the moon transiting right now through Taurus, conjuncting your the North Node and Uranus too. So while also opposing the South Node in Scorpio, allowing you to detach more of these things we've been developing this entire Leo season, while this stabilizing it and seeing if it has a place in this world, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And bringing your emotions into it, even though it could get heightened since it's exalted, you knowing what values um, inflict you emotionally, especially with the Sun and Leo, as we're creatively expressing ourselves and shining out our light. You knowing what type of values that you emotionally connect to is going to help you steer the North Node and Uranus in the right direction. The instability, but it's going to hear that message from the moon of what you truly want, of what you truly feel has value, what you truly trust within your life. As things are unstable, it's kind of gonna hear that cry and show you the opportunities through this instability of how you can uphold those values, for sure. And then yeah, South Node's gonna show you what you need to let go of. For sure. See that? Venus in Leo making a square to the South Node, and Moon in Taurus.
So
How do you think Venus is gonna deal with that
So
square?
as our love matters being presented on the stage, being very flashy, entertaining what we truly love, and maybe learning how to involve people to on the stage. The South Node is exposing all the vulnerabilities behind Venus, our love matter, our desires. Like it wants to see how delusional or how um, selfish it could be since it's in Leo, and how lost in the light it could be. So I feel like the square with the South Node is going to provide that need of transformation. You know, learn how to go from an eagle into a lion, and we're going to go through that back and forth with Venus and the South Node in Scorpio, really. I really feel like what do you truly love and like what's matter to
Mm-hmm.
present.
For sure. I think I think you'll realize a lot of um, self sufficiency, or how you might be relying on others. Like with the Venus and Leo, as you're trying to indulge into the selfish energy, while you're trying to balance how you see yourself, how you creatively express yourself, and trying to how you center around yourself and valuing that. It could be showing you insecurities, or vulnerabilities that you have in terms of maybe relying on other people as you're trying to be selfish, but you rely on other people and other people's resources. Since we're talking about Scorpio, if you've been utilizing other people's resources or been depending on their energy, when you go into Venus and Leo and trying to express that energy, and you start feeling vulnerabilities, or intense emotions started coming up, maybe you were too dependent, or realizing needing other people's resources. When the Moon and Taurus, maybe this all help you reconnect with your values, help you all reconnect with what you know that is important, and kind of put you in the mindset of the tools that you need in order to be selfish like that, in order for you to the resources that you need, the ground that you should be standing on, um, for you to be Venus and Leo. Oh, I need this, I need this, I need that. You know, maybe shedding some light on that. So that's Wednesday the 17th. Thursday, August 18th, the moon is going to be in later degrees of Taurus, making a conjunction with Mars in Taurus. How do you think that's going to go?
Man, first we had the energy coming in from the conjunction with the North Node and then Uranus, making you emotionally react in a way that could like electrify you and give you energy. A lot of people like to say Taurus is slow, but Taurus is like traditional and like steady. Like Taurus would be that worker, even though he may not make a lot of money, he will always show up to work, and in long term that will accumulate. That's like Taurus superpower. It's why like the Taurus is the best at building and like fixing on that. And so this conjunction with the Mars is gonna give you that energy to continue, like it motivates you, especially after this having this long journey with Leo season, inspire you with what the moon is gonna bring into Mars in Taurus. I experienced all these emotional things dealing with the generational planet and the full moon is at Aquarius. Right now I'm gonna give you the extra push, especially Mars right now is again to Gemini, so that's giving you the extra emotional push to push through it.
Mm-hmm. Giving you more emotional support on your self worth, and your talents, and your own stability. You know, maybe connecting you more with your senses too, and allowing your senses and your sensuality to pump you up and get you motivated, so that you could be happy about physical life, and being able to go through these things in general. I feel that conjunction would help make a lot of awareness too. Yeah, for sure. Because you could be passionate or have a lot of energy back to something, but when you have the emotional gas to it, it helps you sustain the whole ride. It's reminding Mars of why it's dealing with this aggressive energy, why it's might get frustrated sometimes, and giving it the emotional care package for it to be like, all right, I can carry through. I can push through this transit and remain true to my goals.
But on the negative end, you might be emotionally angry at the fact that you have nothing based upon what you presented so far when it comes to Leo season. As you're approaching Virgo season, and you know you're gonna have nothing, no receipts, no saving accounts, no stocks, no crypto, no values, no traditions, and nothing you've been building on with your original uniqueness.
And you may get moon's exalted here, so you may go way far with that energy. So try to not self-deprecate, or try and down yourself. Try and down your self-worth. Remember that within Leo season and all the other signs, this Taurus energy, you feeling secure within yourself is essential for you to giving your energy out into the world. So if you're trying to give your energy out in the world, and this, because of these things, it's dampering your self-worth. You're not going to have the amount of energy to go and put yourself in the world to balance these things. So regardless, you really need to take care of yourself, and tend to your self-worth and how you feel about yourself, because you're right that you'll that overexaltation with the moon and going with the frustration of Mars, you may get so frustrated with emotionally being without, or feeling like you lack resources and all of these things, or be so frustrated with the instability
Like
of value, of how things are changing, that you dig yourself into a hole, that you be stubborn for no reason and miss opportunities.
here you go, and this is why we're also having the trying to Mercury in Virgo, allowing you to really manage and articulate these emotions, these aggressions, and these form of passions in the right places, because you're smart and you've been articulating the right things as your solar plexus was expressing your individuality. So you know how to put the right amount of energy through your emotion, but also your passion and desires.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the square with Leo, it's like it's testing your ground, it's testing your Taurus, it's testing your resources and your ability to put together a stage. And maybe you're like, oh, I don't have money, I don't have lights, I can't do, the disco ball, I can't do the fog machine and all of that. But you have to understand within yourself, utilizing the resources that you have. You keeping your passions there, exerting your energy, really trying. Attaching your emotions into it may not be the best stage, but or the most fancy stage, but it's perfect for you, and it sets the stage, and that's the square. It's like it doesn't have to be the best stage for you to put on a show, but can you make use of your resources to put on a show, without crumbling? Oh, I don't have enough resources, I don't have enough self, image, so I can't give love, I can't give attention. Things are too unstable, I don't have any money, so I can't go out and enjoy myself. How am I going to enjoy myself if I don't have any money, and all of that type of bullshit? It's going to be challenging you. You need to be able to enjoy yourself even if the resources aren't there. So it's really challenging you to, how much fun? Are you really a fun person? Do you really enjoy this thing? Is this really something that you entertain? Is this really something that you love? If resources cause such a disruption, with you indulging into that, and if it does, you really need to take care of that area. Really need to take care of that area.
I feel like that's a big theme when it comes to like Jewish culture, upholding tradition and values, which later on leads into the all the wealth that they accumulate, but it's based upon the tradition, the values, the oral tradition, these Bible verses that we're gonna go over and over again in the synagogue. But like the later on generation may not understand that how we got all this money, this wealth, but we've been building.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the stubbornness, the focus on stability, Yeah, for sure. So you're like, oh, how's that pan out? We need new shit. We need all of this type of thing. Not realizing, it's all circular. So as you're like, oh no, we need new things. I'm trying to come around, and you come back around to that same spot, and them niggas is still there, but what they were building is 10 times bigger. Like, oh, now I understand what you were doing.
Another great example is the Catholic Church natal chart. On in their midheaven, they have Jupiter in Taurus squaring Leo descended with Neptune conjuncting at the ascendant. So like this is why they're they always been building on old values and tradition, but to the public it looks like a beautiful image of some form of illusion that people may not be fully aware of the time they've been building on since the Catholic Church have existed for almost 2,000 years. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally
Exactly.
tradition. It's stable. It's on the ground. It's very hard to find people who want to go against it. Like,
Mm-hmm. For sure. And look at how this religion, this speculative idea, had created the structures, the buildings, and all of the things that they had built within the physical world, with their identity being a spiritual one, which is very interesting. How much they expanded into the physical, all the churches, all of the there's more churches than you can count, and all of that type of stuff. So that's interesting that they have that alignment, for sure. So that's Thursday, um, the 18th. Looking at Friday the 19th, the moon is moving into Gemini now, making a sextile to Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. How do you think that's
so
gonna?
depending on what passions and form of desires that we activated while the moon was in Aries, making us a little bit more selfish to give us that extra push with our form of expression and individuality. Where the moon in Gemini is gonna allow us to see ways of articulating this logically, because right now we're in a very adaptable, broad ways of thinking when it comes to our thoughts and idea. And Gemini's enjoy Aries because Aries they have a passion and a vision they could take and articulate and play around with and like show people and be curious with. While Aries, Gemini's gonna help Aries in the form of articulating their vision and their imagination and not make it stuck just like in their head and be single minded, like direct with it, like show them different ways they could like talk about it, speak about it, and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with your body. If you just stop breathing and think angry thought about or have a passion or vision and stop breathing, you're gonna find that's very hard to do. You're gonna eventually start to breathe as you're having all these vision and imaginations or making yourself. It's very hard to be angry and not breathe. Like just try it.
Yeah. Yo, that's facts, eh? Yo, that's interesting. That's interesting. And then even yeah, breathing techniques like that help calm you down. Like, taking that deep breath. Helps you ease out that anger, for sure. So I so see that. And then look at that. Imagine if your anger is really fixated on a point with Jupiter and Aries. Maybe there's frustration going out with you starting this journey, or you having faith to yourself. The moon in Gemini, the the dispersion of your emotions, it's like, all right, it's like relax. It's like you can put your emotions into multiple different areas, so that you don't have to be so fixated on the one thing. It really could help you ease, you know, um, frustration. Let things go. Look at something in a different way. Come up with an idea or curiosity, based off of an emotion that helps lighten the load a little bit. Moon in Gemini is very light emotions. We're dibbling and dabbling in emotions. We're testing the waters. We're seeing how things feel. We're directing our mind into different areas to see how we emotionally feel about things. I feel this is also being curious with your emotions, emotional curiosity with the moon and Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
I so see this helping you understand, start the journey of self discovery that Jupiter and Aries is setting you on, helping you see all the different ways that you can expand yourself as an individual. It's like, oh, maybe you want to be a certain thing, expand yourself as an individual, and you have a certain image of it. But the moon being in Gemini, it's like, oh, what if it looked like this, or what if I had this? What if you kind of like this? What if you incorporated this into it? And it's helping you expand the vision of how you see yourself by allowing you to incorporate a little bit more emotions into it. And then when the moon goes to the Cancer, you'll see which ones stick, which ones become home, which ones really reflect you. But now it's letting you really try out those emotions so that you can know which one is you, and you can really broaden how you see yourself with this alignment. And then what about the sextile that the moon in Gemini is making to Venus and
Man,
Leo? Kind of the same
that's the same.
energy that we were
Um,
talking about.
it's crazy because where your respiratory system is located, Gemini, the third house, it's between where Aries, the first house, is. Like, kind of funny, we're speaking about Carrion and Jupiter being in Aries, and then the moon right now being in Gemini, but also the sun, and then we have all the planets going through Leo right now. So Gemini is almost like this midpoint between what's on our head, brain and nervous system, but also what's on our heart. So Gemini is almost like this guy who's able, yo, I could get Aries, this passionate and aggressive guy, but there's also this Leo, this guy who likes to have fun, entertain them, and then learn how to speak about these things in a way that like fits both of them together. It's almost like we'll learn how to unite the head and the heart together through the what we're speaking in a simple way.
Mm-hmm. 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 For sure. Yeah, for sure. Even putting things to words, Venus on the in Leo, Venus is on the stage. We're on the stage trying to balance things, trying to create
Mm-hmm.
relationships. I bet Moon and Gemini is gonna give us, the gift for gab. Add to that socialite energy, add to the stage, and help you say the right things, express your emotions in the right way, so that you can be seen or seen in the way that you want to be seen, and understand the value and learn how to balance how you see yourself. Give you that curiosity, the different mind routes of how you can incorporate that so that you can get that result.
Moon and Gemini sextile Venus and Leo sounds like a lot of flirting.
Oh yeah, a lot of flirting, and then you're like, "What? I didn't say that. Where did you get that idea from?" It was all of that type of shit. But shit, nigga, shoot your shot, do your shit. I'll pretend like you're lying afterwards too, if you want to, my nigga. As long as you know where that energy is going, and you made sense out of it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's Friday. Um, the 19th, moving on to Saturday, the 20th, the moon in Gemini is making a trine with Saturn in Aquarius. How do you think that's
So
going to hit?
based upon what you've been thinking about in a very broad way, and because you want to eventually speak and direct all this mutable energy that Gemini is allowing you to build in your mind, and Saturn is like giving you the structure that you need as you're expanding of and becoming curious. Besides making sure that you have a structure about society, a structure about your associate, that you're expanding about something that deals with him, if you will. And what else is there? Oh yeah, it's gonna also be squaring the moon in Virgo, so it's almost like as I'm emotionally getting, yeah,
Mercury in
Mercury in
Virgo.
Virgo.
But
So as
yeah.
I'm emotionally preparing myself to become more curious and learn how to be more adaptive in my way of thinking. My mind is demanding me thinking logically, but emotionally, I just want to have fun with my thoughts and ideas, just expand. But I gotta remember how to have fun thoughts and ideas with the structure of Aquarius in mind, while Mercury in Virgo is much more practical. So yeah, it's gonna be hard. There's a lot of thoughts and ideas. There's a lot of brain nervous system activities. You're gonna be lost in your mind.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yo, Gemini gives Virgo like a brain aneurysm. Because I bet Virgo's going to be like, why did he say that? What does that mean? And there's no meaning behind what Gemini said. It just said this shit. And you're like, what does that mean? Why would he say that? Why did it lead to all of that? Stressing Virgo the fuck out when Gemini's frivolous, just saying whatever, thinking all types of thoughts. What if this was real? What if that was real? What if we did this? What if Virgo's like Nick, like I want to figure this shit out. Yeah, what if we did do that? Donovan thought, oh shit, now you're turning this direction, or let me try and make sense out of that. Oh shit, now you're turning this direction. It's really putting Virgo on crack with Gemini is. That's very hard to balance. Make sure that you don't use too much mental energy on that day. That you kind of conserve a little bit of energy, uh, with that going on. But yeah, Saturn and Aquarius being there, you're right. It's kind of gonna help give direction to that Mercury, the Moon in Gemini, in terms of not making you spread your emotional curiosity and your desire to be mutable in your way of thinking too much, because Saturn's sturdy and Aquarius there, and it's kind of giving it direction. It's like, Gemini, send your cool breeze over here. Gemini, send your curiosity over here. Send your speaking and your oral skills over here into this situation. Join our association over here. You know, if you want to speak over here, should they listening to niggas talking about that shit over here? You know, and kind of giving you the opportunity to experiment, you know, to speak your truth on how you feel, especially since, you know, sun's in Leo, moon and Gemini. It's very social, very expressive. So I see you being able, diving into that energy will help you. And having the Gemini, you're being more cerebral. You're not being as, oh, you have to see me in this way, so rigid. You're a little bit more sociable. You're a little bit more mutable. Like a person could say something and you not take it too seriously. Help you with that Leo when they don't, if they're not seeing you in the way that you see, you can let it go a little bit more. And this is, it's just showing you either how, or give you the opportunity of how you can start doing teamwork, mixed dreamwork, and being more practical amongst larger groups of people, by not having that heavy emotional weight that makes you want to go and retreat and do all of that. You know, you're still trying. You're trying to express yourself. You're trying to put yourself. Now, you know, you don't want to go too far into that. You know, give too much energy and something that's not reciprocating. But you trying, you constantly going about that. Eventually, you're going to find the Saturn and Aquarius energy. You're going to find how to obtain discipline in and how you fixate on thoughts and communicate.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. You could use this energy to break through when it comes to thinking, but like these all these thoughts might destroy you because that's too much Mercury overload. Especially if you don't have a lot of Mercury dominate like Earth or air chart in your chart. If you're a fire sign
Mm-hmm.
or water sign, you'll be flung out in this day.
Yeah, and then what, Neptune and Pisces is there in that square with Gemini, with Moon in Gemini, Mercury and Virgo. So
Wow.
it's adding that fog aspect to it, where we're generating all of these thoughts and things, but we may not be fully aware of the fog that could be distorting these thoughts, adding a whole other people's feelings and a whole bunch of different types of influences. So while with that mental processing going on, you have to be aware of the fog, of the illusions and of the emotions that may be tapping in. But with all of the air, um, it'll be easier to be a little bit more cerebral. But with that square, you may just be blowing around the mist, if you get what I mean, you know? Blowing the mist and spreading it around, or maybe just putting it into a different direction, not really separating the mist and understanding it for what it is. So, be aware of that.
Mm.
Be aware of where, when you're speaking, when you're expressing yourself amongst these groups of people, where your beliefs are, and if your beliefs could be clouding your intellectual processes
Mm.
on this day, just so you can be sure within yourself that you're not thinking about or including too much illusions that's blocking you from being cerebral, like where the planets are asking you to, for you being logical, and for you to be able to communicate and say the right words.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And then Mars um, is moving into that cusp of Taurus and Gemini, making a trine with Pluto in Cap and Mercury in Virgo. Oh, so it's an Earth trine. And all of that while squaring the Sun in Leo. How do you think that alignment's gonna
Man,
hit?
that's intense as Mars is completing its grinding hours in Taurus and it's ready to take off as in Gemini. based upon all this tradition, these values that you've been accumulating so far. Now you're ready to go take these things you're building and ready to expand on them in your surroundings, with your co-workers, with your siblings, and things of that nature. But that trying to Pluto and Cap and Mercury and Virgo is polishing that value, that tradition, this thing that you want to go out with, Mars is leaving Taurus into Gemini, and that trine include that trine is grinding that Earth element, the thing you want to practicalize to the world. And then Mars in Gemini uses taking action, speaking about being curious about it, and like showing it to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hands down. Yeah, wanting to share that practicality, uh, for sure, or the challenge, to see how you can go and share all of these things, especially since they're so personal. Taurus is so individualistic to you, and it's so close, that once you start going into start sharing it or bringing it out or bringing light to these types of things, it's like, it starts bringing up all of this. Is the value there? Did I put enough into it? Is it stable enough for me to even get on the stage? You have to get past all of those worries and being certain in your security, certain in your ability and practicality to be able to handle and maneuver through physical reality, for you to be able to see what's real, deduce practicality. Then, once you get onto that level, which is what Mars and Taurus was trying to do, and then Mercury and Virgo is helping you collect all the receipts for it. So it's like, all right, I've been through the trenches with my passions when things are moving slow, and I was able to maintain my values. I'm making sense out of things now. I know everything's changing with the society, but there's my opportunity to take power and control over all of that. So let me show who I am, express myself. Let me take all of this struggle I've been doing with this earth energy, the slow moving energy, and try and really push it out, and express myself and see how my individuality is received. Which may be hard to do. It may be hard. You maybe want to be shrewd. You be like, no, 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 I don't want to. Oh, how much is that gonna cost? It's like, what? How much time is that gonna take? Or that's gonna take a lot of energy. I don't know about all of that, but you have to get past all of that. That square to bring it out, show it. You worked on it long enough. It's time to show those talents. And that's Saturday, August 20th. Moving on to Sunday, the 21st. The sun in Leo is cusping Virgo, while making a sextile with the moon in Gemini. How do you think that's going to hit?
Mm-hmm.
So as the moon, the sun's leaving Leo, it's making a sextile with the moon leaving Gemini. I guess we kind of already touched on that, what that energy is a little bit. That social light energy, that curious, I'm express myself.
Exactly. It's definitely giving that type of energy, but the sun is leaving Virgo, is adding that um, now I'm having fun, and it's time for me to see if me having fun actually led somewhere. While the moon is being in Gemini, allowing me to collect all the information that I need based upon the trine and Saturn, having structure to what I want to expand in, and having this sense of curiosity to really move forward to Virgo season and see where was my mind at this whole time. And like moon and Gemini obviously has Mercury rulership, and then the sun is going to go to Virgo, and then Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So it's like there's an understanding. It's almost like you're looking forward to it. It's like a sexta that you want to see the opportunity that you've been working on so far. Yeah.
I get that. It's like with the sun in Leo and all Leo season, it was probably more of a vision of how we seen ourselves. It was more of a feeling. Like we can envision and hold on to the image within our minds, but With the moon in Virgo, as we're leaving and finishing up, it's probably finally giving us the words to express these things, to bring our emotions into how we see ourselves, and giving us the words and the mentalities um, to understand these things, so that you're right. So Virgo, okay, has the portfolio, given that last spurt of sociability and expressing yourself, so that Virgo has enough information in the portfolio to start making sense out of it, organizing it, and do the pie charts. Virgos love their motherfucking pie charts and shit like that, and fucking grids and all of that. Microsoft Excel was designed by a Virgo for Virgos. It's that type of shit. But it's giving it enough information to go in and to make sense out of things, to make sense out of its individual expression now. Yeah, and that's how the week is looking, y'all. Thanks for watching. Um, Check out our Instagram, TrueSpace_. Check out our website, TrueSpace.biz, and hit us up for a reading. We'll get you real nice. And yeah, have a nice week, guys. And stay above the currents. Stay above the currents.
Take care, guys. Thank you.